with a computer virus called Petya paralyzing computers around the planet tonight, we're going to take a look at what security experts say is a massive point of vulnerability for America, our hospitals, as well as the medical devices implanted in many of our bodies. A recent congressional report says the security of our healthcare systems is in, quote, critical condition. Tonight, what two doctors/hackers are doing about it. Thousands of computers around the world frozen.
You can't read any emails, you can't read any files. Basically, your computer becomes a brick.
An ominous message taking over their screens. Your files are no longer accessible. Send $300 worth of Bitcoin.
Sometimes if you pay, you get your data back. Sometimes they just take your money and move on.
The global ransomware virus known by some as Petya that first took out computer systems in Ukraine has now spread to the U.S. Among those hit, computers in hospitals near Pittsburgh.
She called me and said surgery was canceled because the computers were down.
This after just last month, a worldwide cyber attack by a ransomware virus called WannaCry shut down 65 hospitals in the UK. The virus reportedly affecting not just computers, but storage refrigerators and even MRI machines. This photo, given to a reporter from Forbes, reportedly showing a Bayer MRI hacked by ransomware. The company said it put out a patch for the devices. And last January, Hollywood Presbyterian Hospital in Los Angeles paid out $17,000 after hackers took control of its computers.
It was just odd, though, being at the hospital because all the signs said, you know, do not use the computers. I'm like, what's going on? And they said, well, we got hacked.
Cybersecurity experts now say this problem is getting worse, with hospital computers and medical devices becoming potential targets for hackers.
We went from being prone and prey with no predators to the #1 targeted industry last year in less than 1 year. So our relative obscurity is over.
This pacemaker can be wirelessly accessed with that number.
It seems like something conjured straight out of our Hollywood nightmares. Remember that iconic scene from the second season of Homeland?
Call doctor. I don't think so. Damn.
That TV fiction, researchers say, could now become fact.
I'm killing you.
The potential threat was concerning enough that some years ago, former Vice President Dick Cheney had the wireless capability on his pacemaker turned off.
Have you ever had a high heart rate before? We need to intubate.
To combat this problem, doctors, security experts, and government employees recently converged upon the University of Arizona and Phoenix to witness the first ever simulated hack of a hospital. The event was organized by Jeff Tully and Christian Demeff, both doctors here. They're also both self-proclaimed hackers.
When you say a hacker, everyone instantly thinks about darkly lit rooms, hooded characters that are nefariously typing and hacking the Pentagon. There's a lot of great hackers out there. They do good. When they find vulnerabilities in systems, they fix them.
What here is vulnerable to hacking?
Well, anything that's plugged in.
Why are devices like pacemakers or ventilators, why are they connected to the internet at all?
Because there's incredible functionality that can be used to the benefit of our patients. Pacemakers can connect to a device at home that monitors the rhythms of the heart and are able to send that information to doctors. These things are good for patients, and we don't want people turning away from the promise that these types of technology have.
Hence today's simulation. Do you have any idea what you're in for?
I don't. They've been very secretive with us.
These doctors who have agreed to participate in the simulation have no idea what's going to come through the door.
He's losing consciousness.
I can't feel rhythm here.
You don't have a pulse? Let's start CPR.
They do not know what everyone around them in this simulation knows.
Do you have his cardiologist on the phone yet?
3 critical patients and the culprit, a massive cyber hack.
This entire bag is gone.
The entire insulin dose. The whole thing went in? So that was a calcium channel blocker overdose.
Let's get ready to shock.
We'll get him up to the ICU. We'll take care of him. Thank you.
So you had no idea that this was a hack?
I knew that there was a problem with the AICD, but I had no idea it was hacked.
Looking on is Dr. Marie Moe, a security researcher from Norway. She and her team of white hat researchers have figured out how to hack a pacemaker just like in Homeland. That famous scene from Homeland where the pacemaker is hacked, is that realistic to you?
It is a bit realistic. It's not that far-fetched.
Which is scary for Marie because the pacemaker in her body is keeping her alive. So, in essence, are you saying that you hacked your own pacemaker?
In a way, I'm hacking my own heart. But the reason I do this is to prove that the security is not implemented well enough.
She buys pacemakers like this one for $500 on eBay so she and her team can hack them. And it's not just pacemakers that are susceptible. Researchers say almost any device that can be plugged in is at risk. And white hat hackers, you know, the good guys, say they can prove this. Watch this insulin pump. It just delivered an authorized dose of insulin. Now watch your screen on the left here. That code is a security researcher hacking into the device, causing it to deliver a second unauthorized dose. The researcher says the bug has since been patched. In San Francisco, Billy Rios takes apart and hacks different medical devices, such as pacemakers and insulin pumps, in his own home.
This device here is an infusion pump, and this pump is going to control the rate of medicine or drugs that's going to be administered to a patient.
With an internet connection and a program he developed, Billy is going to hack into this bedside infusion pump.
These pumps have a firewall that's there, but it's very easy to turn off. And then once the firewall is turned off, we're actually going to connect to the pump itself and send it command. If this were connected to a patient, it would dump all the drugs into a patient. We're connected to the pump network over Wi-Fi, so you could be 1,000 miles away. You could be at a Starbucks, or you could be in a hotel, or you could be in another country. So it's almost as if the pump has a life of its own.
Why is it so easy to hack healthcare?
Healthcare is often running on very old, unsupported systems like Windows XP that don't even get patches anymore. Hospitals tend not to invest in qualified security personnel. About 85% or more of the hospitals don't have a single qualified security person on staff.
When a medical device is expected to live in the field for 30 years, the underlying software components are only expected to live, in some cases, 2 years to 10 years. So there's a big mismatch there that we have to rectify and reconcile.
AdvaMed, the industry association for medical device manufacturers, tells ABC News, in part, the medical technology industry's chief priority is patient safety, and medical device manufacturers take seriously the need to continuously assess the security of their devices in a world where the risks, no matter how remote, evolve. And the FDA, which regulates medical devices, told us cybersecurity risks are constantly evolving, and the FDA has been working diligently to address medical device cybersecurity in all phases of a product's life cycle.
Open the chest up and this neck leads.
Back at the simulation, these doctors are frantically working to keep their mock patients alive. This has gone from worrisome to potentially lethal really quickly. In the final test of the day, everything that could go wrong does. A patient with a pacemaker. It's been hacked.
Making first incision. Yeah, I feel the ICD.
Okay, pacer leads cut.
That's his native activity right now.
Okay.
All of the pretend patients in this simulation, even the surgical dummies, lived, thanks to these doctors. And while there aren't any known cases of illicit hackers manipulating somebody's pacemaker, Jeff and Christian are taking no chances. You guys ever look at each other and think, it's not bad for a couple of hackers who've gone on to perhaps save a bunch of lives here?
I think our parents are just happy that we're not in jail.
Thank you, Doctor. Good job. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
They're going to want to go talk to you. No. I love you, but no. Maybe next time, Jeff.
Okay.
Although, if these hacker doctors succeed, perhaps there won't have to be a next time.